The Ramblings of a Retired Lunatic Part 2. I wanted to catch you guys up on some emails that I got and some questions that I've been getting from a couple of people who took advantage of my email address, nopurplecar@gmail.com, and I wanted to address some of their questions. And some of the questions that have come up through comments over the past few months. So I'll just delve into a couple of them. I won't keep you too long. But the question that I want to answer today, for sure, and in all seriousness, came from Roger. And Roger has asked this before, and I'll kind of do just a very quick synopsis of it. Roger asked me, describe the period of time leading up to your retirement. Like, how did you prepare? What were your, what'd you do with your finances, your savings? What was your prep? And if you've watched some of my other videos, I've kind of described my situation, but again, we'll talk real briefly on this. Back in 2020, I started saving, or I started investing in the stock market. Now, I was new to it, but yet I had a couple people I could talk to. So May of 2020 was pretty much rock bottom in the stock market. So my entry period at that time was, to me, a good time, since I hadn't done it before. Now, remember, getting onto an E-Trade or a Fidelity or whatever you use is a lot easier nowadays than what it was, of course, in the 1980s or even the 1990s. You had to go to a brokerage, or you had to, you're doing everything by fax, basically. Once I started really getting onto the internet, it exploded, and a lot of people started using the internet for their trading. So I didn't get in until May 2020. In the meantime, about that time, I started thinking about retirement, because at our place of employment, we had a project which was bringing in about 30% of our revenue that was going to end. And I've talked about that before. The Toyota Tacoma frame project, which we had for 20 years, was ending, and they were doing another frame. And they moved it from that particular building in Mexico to another building in central Mexico, and Toyota was building the Tacomas in San Antonio, Texas. They also moved that production to a plant down in Mexico, central Mexico. So we knew we weren't going to get any more of this work because of the freight costs. So that was part of one of my reasons why I was going to retire. So thinking back in 2020, coming up to, let's see, I'm 64 now, but my goal was to pay off the house. You got to be, in my opinion, at least for me, and I'm going to speak just for me. I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm going to speak how things work for me. I decided to go ahead and try to pay off the house. And if you've seen some of my other videos, I had a retirement CD that I had gotten from another place of employment. I cashed out the pension. They offered a cash buyout, so I put that into the bank as a CD, just a safe way of keeping it. The interest rates were not very good, so I took part of that money and paid off the balance of my house, which was probably around $25,000. So I had paid off all the way up to about $25,000. Yes, I had a good interest rate on the house, but I wanted peace of mind as step one of getting this taken care of, so I didn't have to worry about it. So I took care of that in early 2023. So then all I had was my car payment, and that was going to be done in August of 2023. So I had no debt. My wife and I had no debt. She was already on Social Security. Hey Joe, It's a little windy here, sorry. I tried to wait, but you'll have to turn your hearing aids down a little bit or adjust them. Joe, that's for you. Sorry about that. Sorry about the wind noise. But so yeah, so that's what I did. I wanted to be debt free, Roger. I wanted to be debt free. And then I looked at, okay, well, am I going to have to work? Because in September, or I should say October of 2023, we were losing that business. And I thought, what a good time to get out of this drive that I had, 90 minutes round trip. Winter's coming. It's a good time to do that. But how can I do that? Okay, I got X amount of savings. All right. I probably should not retire on X amount of savings. You know, it wasn't, in everybody's opinion, right? You know, everybody wants $1 million or $2 million or $3 million or $5 million. I wasn't there. So I said to myself, well, if we take Social Security, what is the amount of Social Security I'm going to get? So I waited to file till December, or my first payment was in December. And my goal was from, I think it was July, August, September, to track my spending to see if I could live on just Social Security alone, basically. Okay. Now, if I needed for emergencies, or I needed, you know, travel, or I needed something, I could go into the savings. But since a lot of my money is tied up into dividend stocks and ETFs, you know, kind of safe, more or less. And then I still have some cash tied up in, you know, 4%, 5% banks. So I figured if I could just retire on Social Security and barely touch that, I think I'll be good. As you know, other people have said, that 4 or 4.5% rule per year. If you take out of the bank 4.5%, 4%, how long will that take you? There's a million calculators out there, all this different stuff. So I said, okay, if I can do Social Security and I can live on that, all right, I may not have to go back to work. And as some of you know, on my, I have a Social Security update every month that basically says where my spending's at versus what my income is from Social Security. I don't count YouTube income. I don't count anything else really towards that. So if I can just do that, I may not have to go back to work and let the savings grow. And it has. Of course, this past couple weeks has been down a little bit, but over the past, since in 2023, it's gone up, of course. So that's where I'm at, Roger. That's how I kind of looked at it. I'm still on the fence about returning to work. I'm only 64. You know, I could probably go to work for 3 more years. I'm going to wait and see. If I do go back to work, it'll be next year. I think even at my age, I can still find something, because people are reaching out left and right. There's help wanted signs everywhere in our area. Now, no, I won't be making the money that I was making before, but even, you know, a $20 an hour job is something, right, to help supplement Social Security. Because I can only make $22,000 a year, either a side hustle or a job or something like that, until I get to retire, or full retirement age. So I'm a few years away from that. So I have to be mindful of how much I bring in anyway. Of course, I don't want to work for, you know, $15 an hour and work 40 hours and you know, is that worth it to me? Maybe not. I'll just have to cut back on my spending and not overspend my Social Security. Anyway, long story on that, but that's kind of the way it worked out for me. So someone had asked me about YouTube revenue. I get a couple people that ask me, how much are you making? That's something I'm not going to divulge right now. And here's why. Number one, it's nobody's business, but you know, I'm not like that. I'm not that kind of person. I've been pretty upfront and forward about a lot of things that I do. So that's just one that I have said that at the end of this year, I got monetized in January 5th of this year, 2024. I was doing videos in December, but it took a while to get the subscribers up to the minimum of 1,000, plus you needed a bunch of hours, view hours. So in December, I will do a video that will show the entire year where I'm at, where my subscribers come from, what countries they're from, the male-female ratio, which is still hanging about 80-20, 80% male, 20% female. Sorry for this wind, really do apologize. Hopefully it'll stop here in a second. So I will do a video in December about that, and I will show you exactly what I made for the year. I will show you all the views, how many subscribers and all that, and I'll show you how I got to that. Well, someone had asked me the other day, well, you're getting close to 10,000 subscribers, you know, congratulations. And yeah, that's a great milestone. The only problem is, revenue wise, I actually made more, believe it or not. I made more back in January when I had about 2,000 subscribers than I am this month with you know, 9,500 or whatever it is. So the algorithms with YouTube are so weird. I don't pretend to understand them, and I kept telling everybody who congratulated me, I said, you know, that's secondary. Yeah, it's nice to get some extra money, but it's secondary to the, you know, being able to come out here and just, you know, get on the camera here and just talk about stuff, you know. I really enjoy it. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I do. I really do enjoy it. The money is secondary. It's not enough to prevent me from going to work, or stopping me from going to work, or making me go to work. Any way you look at it, it's not enough for that. But it is a little bit nice to have a few extra bucks here and there. Someone asked me about promotions. I've been, and a lot of guys like Steve, Steve's retirement corner, and Dwayne, I think. There's been a few people that I watch who have said they get people asking them to promote their items. I just got one the other day. It was one of those chairs, you know, those lift chairs, like the old Lazy Boy, where it's heated and you can press a button and it'll lift you out of the chair, which someday I might need, but not right now. Yeah, they want to send me a chair and all that, but number one, I don't have room in my house. The other stuff, and that was probably the best thing. The other ones were like a chainsaw and some batteries, like some AAA batteries or something. You know, sorry, I'm not doing any of that. I would promote local. If there was a product, and there's a couple of products local to me that I would promote, and not even for money, not even for any compensation. I would just promote it because I use the product and I like it, and maybe someday we'll do that. So to answer that question, no, I probably won't do any promotions. So some of the people that emailed me at nopurplecar@gmail.com were Ian from Australia, Rich and Vicky from South Carolina. They just moved there from Maryland, so I think they're getting their first couple weeks getting their feet wet. And no, they're not. They didn't get a house at the beach. They're about 30 miles away. I'm supposed to. They reminded me of that, so I wanted to remind you guys. Tom from Minnesota, he sent me a picture of his garage, and I tell you, it looks a lot better than mine. That's for sure. He's got a nice little setup. Maybe I'll turn mine into that someday, but not yet. JD from California. He's 40 years old. He said hi. We had Todd from Minnesota. We had Mike from South Dakota. He's another young guy. And Ross from Louisiana. He's actually a State Farm agent there. And we talked about a couple different things. Because as you know, in my end of month Social Security update, my expending update, I do most of I have my homeowners and I have my car insurance and some life insurance policies with State Farm, and had them for many years, like 3 decades. So It's nice to talk to a different agent. But he does a channel called Middle Age Grind. So since I do have some subscribers who are in their 40s, some, believe it or not, in their 30s, but some in their 40s and 50s, check out Middle Age Grind. He does a pretty good job of talking about subjects more related to the family, because he's got a growing family, and he's a good guy to check out. Middle Age Grind. Nelson, I'm not sure if he's from Portugal or not, but he made me laugh so much. He mentioned something about he'd come up with an idea or something to his wife, and his wife would say, "What, is that what Buzz talked about today?" It's like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but Nelson, don't put me on the hot spot, man. You better take credit for your own stuff. Don't blame it on me. But yeah, he talked about the third age, because we're on our third age right now. And I guess there's a Portuguese saying for it, and I'm not going to butcher it, so I won't try to say it. But yeah, we're in the last half. The third age is what they call it. So, Nelson, thank you for making me laugh. I think I covered everybody. I got Rich and Vicky. I got Ian from Australia. I got Tom from Minnesota, a picture of his garage. I got Nelson. I got JD from California, Todd from Minnesota, Mike from South Dakota, Ross from Louisiana. He's got the Middle Age Grind YouTube channel. We talked about what Roger wanted to. We talked about YouTube revenue. We talked about promotions. So, again, ramblings of a retired lunatic. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Bye.